Hey!
I love that countdown.
I love that countdown. It's literally just the best. Hey, Miss D.
It certainly is.
Hello.
Hey, good evening.
Horizontal angle.
I know, I'm trying to turn it round.
You like this? Flip your camera.
Portrait.
Hey, Altered Healthers. Hello, my Instagram followers. So, guys, sorry I'm going to be like this because I am on Instagram over here. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm doing it. But for those of you that can't see my fabulous sisters up here, hopefully you can hear them so you hear what we're going to be talking about. Over to you, Shai.
Hey, everybody. How are they?
Hello.
Well, I'm fabulous.
We can see that you're fabulous. You got to tell us where you are right now.
So I am in Portugal. I am in the hills at a juicing retreat. I am 48 hours in. And that fabulous lake that you see in there, I was swimming in there earlier on, which is why we've got full-on curls going on. 28 degrees, and I'm loving it.
It looks amazing. That view just looks beautiful. And
this is actually the view from my room. I'm on my balcony right now, so this is the view I wake up to every day.
And that lake, the water has just done some goodness to those curls because they are
magic water.
Magic water, yes.
That's exactly what it is.
So let me introduce myself, and then ladies, you can introduce yourselves. Okay, so I'm Shai of the House of Shayaa. I opened the first natural hair and hair locking salon in the East Midlands back in 2005. And I'm with these two ladies because we're in a brilliant mastermind team right about now. So we're masterminding once a month and just creating the master plan. So let me just send it over to Miss Danielle. Go on, Doc.
Hello, guys. So I'm Danielle Gordon. I'm with baby at the moment, so I apologise if you can hear any whining. And I am the operational director at the Alchemist Co. So I'm a master herbalist, and I provide you with all your natural cure. Well, I don't want to say the word cure. Not allowed, is it?
Healing.
With all your natural ways to heal the body, and just different alternatives that are less harmful and less invasive.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And over to you, Carly, Miss Mellers.
Miss Mellers-Blair, don't forget the Blair, because you'll have hundreds of people on here kicking off. Welcome to the Blair. So, as Shai just said, my name is Carly Mellers-Blair, and I'm a functional health specialist. I have been in the wellness space since 2005, so it's been a minute. I help people physically, emotionally, spiritually, digestively, basically become the best version of themselves. And as you can see right now, I am doing exactly what I help people to do for me right now, retreating.
Oh, it's brilliant.
That's what I do.
That's what we all need. We all need a retreat. You know,
Amen.
I think it's time for a retreat. Come on, Miss Carly, put one on for all of us.
Yeah.
If you would like a retreat, comment below this video and I will sort it out. Like I've just said to Shai, I've got a big one in my blood for January, which won't be for everybody. But it's going to be bigger than I've ever done before. But there might be something littler. But that's the whole point of Wellness Works, right, ladies? That we can offer a day retreat thing, but on a smaller scale, that's accessible financially to everybody. And that's what it's all about.
Definitely. So let's talk about Wellness Works.
How good was Wellness Works?
Oh, this is the first live since we did the run-up of lives to
Wellness
Works, the big event a couple of Sundays ago.
Yep.
How wicked was that? I loved it.
Seriously,
amazing.
It was. Although I did crash the day after.
You're not the only one.
We all did.
Well, we had 6 weeks to plan an event packed full of practical well-being and wellness and everything one. So it was a bit of a mad thing, wasn't it? It really was. It was a bit stressful. Just that much.
Just a bit.
With the next one, which is by popular demand on June the 11th, so we've got a little bit longer, gives people a lot more chance to grab their tickets, because guys, how many people waited to get their ticket and then we were sold out?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I had people asking on the day, can I just turn up? I was like, sorry, no.
Too late. I mean, we had 9 days left and the tickets were gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't make that stuff up. It's
going to happen quicker than that. Can I just say, for all of our Facebook, YouTube, wherever else we are, including Instagram, that we sold 15 tickets in 24 hours for the next event.
Wow.
It's going to sell out really, really quick.
I'll remind everyone, but
I've had a few people like, oh, I'm going to get one on Friday. And I'm like, don't let Friday pass and you don't get it, because you'll keep saying it. And then you'll come to get it and it will say sold out, just like it did for those that missed it out, this time.
That's the thing, because it's June the 11th. It seems like it's a long way away. But
it's not.
It really isn't. It's
going to be before you know it. Yeah, it'll be
now.
So what was your best takeaway from Wellness Works? What was your best takeaway?
I'll let you say that, Danielle, first, and then I'll jump in.
Me. So my best takeaway was the amount of people that are now open to alternative ways to help become their best self, their healthiest self, because so many times over the years, I've had quite a lot of resistance from people when I've tried to share natural and alternative ways, but it's like, it's catching on. It's a real trend at the minute, and I'm absolutely loving it, because the support that we've had from people coming to the event just makes, the word get out more. And the more that people speak up and, like we did it with some of the lovely people that spoke up at the event, bless them, the more that people hear their stories, the more people feel confident to stand in their own power. And I think it was something I said actually on one of the reviews that I gave at the end, that the more people share their stories, it's going to empower people to feel brave enough to attempt it themselves, because it is a big feat, especially if you haven't got the prior knowledge, because, we've been gathering this knowledge for years and years and years. So we feel quite confident when it comes to seeking alternative ways or preventing them entirely, to be honest, so that we don't get sick. But for somebody that's never used natural healing at all, and the only time they've heard of dandelion and burdock is for a pop drink, it's very difficult to trust when somebody says to you that, I've got eczema and I need to go to the doctors, and they want to actually give them allopathic medicines for you to turn around and say, have you tried nettle? They look at you like you're absolute bat crazy, honestly. But so much more people are speaking up now, because so many more people are trying it, which means more and more people are going to try it. And natural healing is, I say it's coming back, because some people say it's a new thing, but I'm like, nah, this is where healthcare stemmed from originally. So that was my biggest take. The spread, I'm loving it.
Yeah. And I have to just to kind of emphasize that, what you've just said, Danielle, I think it was an unintended consequence of the lockdown that so many people then realize you can't just rock up to the doctors, you can't just get into the hospital, but you're still sick and tired. What do I do? How can I help myself? And I personally, my clinic was so busy because people couldn't just do the quick fix, the tablet thing. I had so many people say to me, Molly, that immune thing that you told me about, can you tell me again?
Yeah. I had a lot of that.
Yeah,
I told you 10 years ago, but it's all right. Come on in.
Yeah, truly.
So my takeaway was one of the biggest shifts in people's perception of the dance class and the bachata class delivered by my fabulous cousin Daniel and Laura. Now, so many people during that said to me, I nearly never came because of the dance. Nearly never came.
Yeah.
And I asked quite openly, if I'd have given you the choice, would you have preferred not to have done the if I'd have given you another opportunity, and it was like, no, we definitely needed that, because we would never have known how good it felt if you hadn't have pushed us out of our comfort zone. And those of you that have worked with me before know that I like to be out of comfort zone.
Yeah, very much so. But it works wonders though.
It does.
Yeah. And to be honest, if I'm honest, that's something that I was worried about. And I thought to myself, well, at least I've got the baby for the excuse that I don't have to dance. But I found that I wanted to give the baby to somebody so that I could actually have a go at the dance, because everybody said how amazing it was. And you're right, given that choice beforehand, a lot of people said that they wouldn't have done it, and they're glad that they didn't have the choice not to participate, because I think it was one of the favourite bits of the day, actually.
Exactly.
It definitely was. I think being pushed into something that you just don't want to do, and
Yeah,
then it turned out to be amazing and so much fun. Because if you watch back on the clips that we've got, you can see that they're enjoying it to the max.
Yeah, definitely.
Before, like a couple of my friends were in the class who have been invited many times to a session on a Saturday. Isn't that right, sis?
Yeah.
Now they're like, oh, you know what? I think I might come.
Yeah. Well, how exciting is it though to try something that you've never done before and then realise that you like it?
Yeah. No, it's true. So true.
So what was your takeaway, sis?
Do you know what? My takeaway was, for me personally, on a personal one, was the reminder of how much more I need to look after myself. And if it's reminding me, and I work with wellness anyway, I can imagine how powerful it must have been for especially the people who are hearing it for the first time. So that whole session would have been like, the day would have been like a power session of knowledge and information, and oh my gosh, all these things, I'm going to just take it all in and start to make changes bit by bit, because it was a lot. There was a lot of information and really good key points that we all need. You know what I mean? Like even figuring out which vitamins and minerals our body needs, which was your workshop, sis, and then which herbs that work well for this ailment, and people putting their hands up and people just taking part, not being too shy.
Absorbing it. I loved it.
It was all involved. And then also for me, on a business level, it's the women who came with the small businesses and had chance to network and just get themselves out there and push their small businesses, and hopefully it's just catapulted them that bit more.
Gain some new customers, gain some new followers, and some new confidence as well, because there was more than one of our exhibitors. Once again, I pushed it out of the comfort zone and said, right, you've got to do a bit of a talk. You've got to be able to introduce yourself. They was like, no.
They were.
But actually, once they've done it, and like you said in one of your reviews, Danielle, that, it gives you a chance to share your passion for your product.
Yeah,
that's all about, because people buy into that passion. They buy into what you believe in.
The person
scientifically works. It's the fact that you believe in it. And I think that's really, really key for all of those that are going to exhibit with us next time. Don't be afraid of talking, because you've got to talk about what you do.
100%. It just gets it out there.
It does.
The best way, definitely. So today's topic, ladies, stress.
Although I don't have any stress in this fabulous location.
Big topic.
It is a big topic, and it's Stress Awareness Month.
It is.
It is.
I wasn't aware there was a month for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Neither was I.
Right through a couple of weeks ago, didn't know.
No, I'm the same. I didn't have a clue, but it's definitely something that comes up a lot in my salon, and it must be very similar for you guys.
Yeah, most definitely. Most people's illnesses. What was we watching the other day? I think it was the talk you did, Carly, actually, on what doctors don't tell you and the inextricable link to stress and disease. Literally, it's the reason why most people come to see me.
Totally. And it all links back down to stress. But can we just kind of frame that before we get into it and kind of beat stress up? Because on many levels, stress is essential. because if we didn't have that little bit of motivation to do stuff, we wouldn't do it, right? And we're hardwired to get ourselves out of harm's way, which is when the stress kicks in, right? The problem only becomes when it's no longer instant or it's there. It's when it's turned on all the time. When it turns on certain parts of our system, which are fight and flight, which turns off other parts of our system, which then are meant to supposed keep us healthy and growth and repair and immunity and digestion. So it's only when that stress isn't turned off properly and isn't regulated, the chemicals overflow, that's when it becomes a problem. So what I want to understand is that life has got stress, right? We've all got curveballs in our world, and it's not like everybody's going to be stress-free forever, because that's not going to happen, you know. And it's knowing the difference between different types of stress, whether it be acute or chronic. I'll talk about that in a minute, and what to do to kind of balance that and be aware of what being in chronic stress, one that lasts forever, does to our system.
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned that, because like I said, I've got questions prepared.
Oh, so I like questions.
I'll start with you then, sis. I'll start with you. So how would you incorporate mindfulness, self-care, and what your wellness coaching practice, and help your clients to manage stress? How do you put all that together to help them to manage their stress?
Come here. I jump on a plane and I come to a retreat. No, not really. I think the first thing is the awareness, because some people, because they're in stress all the time,
I agree,
where they function all the time, and they don't realize that that's where they are. So I think building the awareness of stressful situations that's not normal is the first place to start, right? And then starting with very, very small, easy steps, because again, I'm very big on do something small, make it stick, then make another change. Because if you try and change everything all at once, everything implodes, and then you just beat yourself up because, you know, you've gone back to how it was. So to me, that's like, it makes no sense. So building awareness, one, and then looking at wherever you feel the most pain, that's the best place to start. So, you know, if you're stressed over how you look, for example, well, then we build a plan to make sure that you get your nutritional base right, you get your movement base right, you've got more energy. So then your body then becomes that haven, that kind of that sanctuary of actually, I do deserve to look after myself. And then you go from there. You know, if it's a relationship, for example, some relationships might end up popping down when you work on yourself, because
very true.
Position of priority, other people that are used to you being this kind of yes person, there for everybody, doing everything for everybody all the time. Once that kind of balance changes, people don't necessarily like it. So for me, it's helping people, one, to build awareness, two, to look at where they're most painful, and three, building a plan of how we make those gradual changes.
I think that's perfect, because that is like the basic of all stress, and then everything else, topical, herbal. I'm going to come to you in a minute, Danielle. It's all on top of the foundation that you've just mentioned. Because most of the time people just don't know that they're stressed. It's like when my clients come in and they do have some hair loss in different areas, sometimes it's traction, things like that. But you say to them, do you think you're stressed? No.
I'm not a stressful person.
I'm not.
That's because people get so used to dealing with those chemicals. All the time. They can't tell the difference between the two. Another reason why people come on holidays like this and crash. Because they've actually allowed their body to feel everything, and then it's like, you end up with coleslaws, or coleslaws, coleslaws.
It's true.
No, but it's
the burnout's real. It is. And if you're like me, somebody who never used to admit stress because I thought it meant weakness, you just store it. You store it, and it's terrible. How I'm still surviving after all of holding in stress, you know, that was a major thing for me, actually admitting that I was stressed because of pride, having too much pride.
Mm-hmm. Can we just repeat that, please?
It's true.
Carly knows that that's a big moment for me as well, to actually openly say that.
I am so proud of you right now.
Perfectionism is something that I've suffered with, which is why I didn't allow myself to acknowledge my stress.
Yeah, me too.
Mine was just being too like doing too much. I still kind of do it. I've limited myself a bit, and I've given myself a work time in the work week instead of just being working all the time, doing everything. I mean, now I'm just doing what I love. Exactly that.
Amen.
Because before, oh my goodness, I'm just too much. Too much. And if I'm doing it, I'm going in, because that used to be in my mind. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it properly, and I'm going in. No! I'm going in, and I'm going to have loss.
Yeah.
You know, don't you find it though that when you're good at lots of different things, it's hard to like narrow it down to a few things? And like what you've just said, sis, it's about following your joy, right? Do the things that you love. Do the things that make your spirit fly, that kind of make you bounce out of bed in the morning.
It's true. What did you say to me the other day? Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should.
That is right.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
No.
I say this as somebody that's been exactly through some of the stuff that Danielle's been through. We're very, very similar in the way we are, right? Perfectionism. It's got to be done.
Perfectionism, pride. Got to be the best.
I want it done yesterday because that's the way I was raised, right? And it's like it's a recipe for burnout, people.
It is. And judgment as well, self-judgment, because if you can't achieve the unachievable, because some things really are set ridiculously, exhaust, burnout. If I achieve it, I'm going to be knackered. You know, if you don't reach them goals, then you've got the self-criticism, and then it's just you're on a never-ending circle. Then
so true. So Miss Danielle,
comments down there. I don't know if you want to fetch and say hello to people that are watching you.
I'm not used to doing this bit.
Yeah, I can't see them on my screen, unfortunately, unless somebody else brings it up.
So Johnson News says, "Hey, beautiful ladies."
Hi.
Hello, and self-care, and she's also saying retreat. So she's wanting us to do a retreat. And she's also said, I think natural healing isn't a westernized thing. So it's not new. It's just for people to be aware. And maybe knowledge is power. There you go. So it's not really a westernized thing. I think that's quite, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
It is. But can I just say, it was a worldwide thing until certain people of the certain fellas of the rock of kind did a massive thing in kind of, you know, putting loads of money in health.
That's what they did.
Making vitamins and minerals like the devil's work. It certainly was. You know, if you go back 100 years, you will find physicians that prescribed cannabis. Yes, I said cannabis to the Queen. 100 years ago. You know, there are so many. And again, memory's fickle, right? Only lasts a generation. So if you go back 50 plus years, you will find all sorts. Go back pre-1912 and you won't find the fellas of the rocker type. And you'll find all sorts.
I actually went to a exhibition at Nottingham University last weekend, and it was 1877. What was it? Prayers and Health. Pre-1877, and it was a wonderland of plants. Literally, plants. It was talking about women that attended childbirth. And they bought their plants and herbs and essential oils, and that was a normal thing. Whereas obviously everybody knows that I've done that today, and it's been looked down upon. So it was very, very normal, you know. Even the man, it was talking about the mandrake that's on the famous children's program. I won't promote them. I don't think I'm allowed.
It's the one that screams.
So many uses for plants that were just very, very normal, and they had all the documents and everything. Huge, thick, massive books with all in print. Collie, you would love them. With pretty leather wrappings and everything of even natural cures for endemics and pandemics that they used. There was nothing chemical about it. Amazing.
See, because the planet has what we need to survive.
Exactly.
And that's what we forget. So going on to that, I'm going to ask you a quick question, Danielle.
Okay.
In regards to stressed or stress?
Or stress.
How do herbs and natural remedies help to combat the effects of stress?
Well, usually if a client comes to me and they're stressed, or I think they're stressed, first I like to look at where the source might come from, because it could be a diet issue. I'm sure we'll cover that in a minute, where the gut-brain connection is just completely out of whack because they're eating absolute crap. It could be chronic from things that they've been through for a long, long time. So they're suffering from something called adrenal fatigue, which is going to affect your hormone production from your kidneys. Or it can also be things that are going on in their life. There's a range of issues for it. So depending on that basis, depends on how we start looking to treat it. So if it's more of a diet issue, which we have to take that into consideration anyway, because, something like 90% of serotonin is made in the gut, right? So we need to make sure the gut health is well. But also, if we're going down that path, we're going to look at doing some cleansers first. So our signature root cleanse that I always talk about, it's got some amazing feedback in terms of giving people more awareness and clarity and having a clearer headspace, just because of the removal of toxins out of the body. Toxins are a massive thing that contributes to poor mental health. So a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, they're trying to fix their health by just trying to be happy. And if it's a chemical imbalance, we've got to do something, or we've got to add something in to try and stabilize that out. So that's why I mentioned finding out where it came from. So there's amazing herbs, mushrooms, for example, lion's mane, ashwagandha and things like that are proven to help lower cortisol levels, which can aid to stress. I'm someone that suffered with high cortisol levels because of stress. And if you don't burn it off, it's going to affect your mental health. So things like going to the gym and stuff like that. So I will always ask how active people are. But in terms of herbs, we want to make sure that the body's able to receive the herbs effectively in order to absorb the nutrients so that they can go to the brain and to the gut where they're needed. So they're the areas where there's a lot of questions that I would ask people before just giving them a herb, because herbs can help, but you don't want to be in a position where you have to take the herb in order to feel good, because it shouldn't be like that. We should be able to get to the root cause, and if we can correct that and have herbal supplements to not just sustain it, but kind of, what word am I looking for? My mind's gone baby brain again. To balance everything out. Balance your hormones and things like that. Because now I can find that if I don't have my herbs, I don't go completely wild. Every time when my cycle comes around, I'm okay. But before I did any cleansers or took any herbs, it was just completely up and down. I could never find a middle ground. So it's just about bringing balance back, I think, and herbs can help do that.
100%, definitely. Oh, thank you for that. That was really
screen went funny then.
No, that was really, really good. So as you can see, like with stress, there's all these foundations that we need to put in place to be able to manage it and balance it. It's not a quick fix just like that in most cases. There's usually things that we need to put in place. So it's like with my customers, when they've come to me and they've got, sometimes they actually don't notice that they've got some hair loss issues. The way how I can usually see it is with their partings. I mentioned it to you, didn't I, Danielle?
You did, yeah. I was quite happy that I didn't have the partings that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I used to, though.
That's it. I think we've all been there. I know I definitely have. When the partings are a little bit wider than they should be, sometimes it can be a bit of traction, but sometimes that is down to the stress. And I do something very similar, is trying to figure out what the root is, what the root cause is, and how we can then manage the stress. But with hair and dealing with your hair, it's also maintaining your natural hair whilst you're going through this stress, and whilst you're also trying to find a middle ground to manage it so you don't lose anymore. So we can just on a,
that's where I'm at.
Yes. So there's a few things that, you know, that we need to look at again. It's like what your diet as well. Are you taking any medication? Are you overworking? I get a lot of students, you know, lots of students come to me and they're doing their PhDs, their masters, and they're working, which doing university is already a job. And then on top of that, they've got jobs. So I'm like, you're just doubling up your life. You're doing a lot, but obviously they need to, which then affects their hair. So what I have to do is try and find a routine. I'm all about routine when it comes to your skincare and your hair. So if we can put like a routine in place that helps you to manage it, it makes things that much easier with natural plant-based products as much as possible.
Yeah, I love it. Definitely, because you spoke about those endocrine disruptors before. They are in hair products as well, and that will definitely right near your brain as well.
So true, right near your brain, and it soaks in. Everything soaks in. So if we can get rid of those endocrine disruptors.
What you said about routine, sis, because that is a massive one. For any client that comes to me, and we're looking at kind of how to help them deal with stress, kind of move beyond certain situations. Routine is everything. Everything. And I think if you're living in stress, I think you often forget the things that you should be grateful for.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So one of my biggest tools is sitting down and writing your gratitude, or sitting down, and this is where a lot of people get really uncomfortable, including Danielle, celebrating yourself, celebrating your achievements, having a look how much you've actually achieved to this point, rather than looking at what you've not done, what's still outstanding, and all the rest of it. You know, just take account of how good you've actually done and how much you should be grateful for right now. You know, I think that's a great way to start, like you said, a stress-aware routine.
And that's so effective as well, because I've done it once already with you before, Carly, and I like zoomed up in my confidence, and I just kind of stayed up here, and then I stopped doing the self-work, and I've kind of come down a little bit, but not massively. So we've jumped straight back into that, haven't we? And started the affirmations again, and looking at yourself and being grateful for where you are. And it stopped me from going any further down. So it's just upward again. But you do have to confront that massively in order to be able to move on, because people think that success comes from joy. That joy comes from success, and it's not. It's the other way around. You've got to be happy within yourself first, and then in that happier mindset, you're able to do more because you can think clearer, you're sharper, you've got better ideas. You know, it all comes from feeling that, and you have to go in, and it's a hard place to go if you've not been there before.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
That is it. It is uncomfortable, but it's a bit like feeling it and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Just feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
just
like what we do. I mean, we do it as well. We're here. We put on Wellness Works, but we still had to feel it and do it anyway.
We did.
There was no choice. It just had to be done. You know,
and because we're all good at pushing each other, there was no one was gonna back out, no matter no matter how scared we got. There's too much support in this little group.
It's so true. No one was saying I'm out.
Yeah.
No one said it. We just went through, and then the couple of days after that, we were silent. We retreated.
I noticed that one. But we were all right. 2 days and we were back on it.
We went. Exactly. It was just 2 days was all
2 days.
2 days.
That's all we needed. Another great tonic, which we're doing right now for anybody that's dealing with really stressful situations, is laughter.
Oh, yeah.
I think laughter is one of the biggest tonics. And even if you don't necessarily have a comedian that you live with, I'm fortunate that I do. But if you don't, think of a comedy that really makes you laugh, a comedian that really makes you, and just put it on and have a good giggle. Children laugh so much, and as adults we forget this. I think the statistic is if the average child laughs about 15 times an hour, the average adult laughs twice a day.
Wow.
It's a massive difference.
I can believe that.
Yeah, me too.
My children definitely laugh more than that, the younger two. They're like hyenas. But they make up for my lack of laughter sometimes. So, hey.
I think I'm in the child category.
Yeah, me too. I'm always laughing.
I'm always I'll have a time when I don't. I'm a bit quiet, but that's just human, isn't it? But most of the time, something tickles me. Even if it's a memory that just pops in my head. I could be on the bus,
Yeah.
Something will pop in my head. And
people looking at you like,
listen.
But that's good, laughing with yourself. I remember coming across some.
Yes.
Yeah, I came across some life coaching videos once, and I tried it, and it actually worked. So smiling at yourself in the mirror, even if you have to force it, after you've done it a couple of times, you'll laugh at yourself, because you think, what am I doing? And then it starts. You realise. Do you know what I mean? It is something so simple like that, just purposefully, forcefully making yourself smile and looking at yourself and giving yourself those affirmations, which are important while you're doing it, lifts your mood a bit.
What's affirmation, Danielle, for those of us that don't know what affirmations are?
Yeah.
So my power affirmation for this month is I am confident. So that's something, and I do feel lots more confident today. I've been saying it to myself, written it on my hand, drilling in it in my head. Haven't got the red on today, unfortunately, but I've got red socks, actually. I've had to wear something red every day because I'm working on the route again. But affirmations are things that you tell yourself. They're I ams. So it's very important what comes after I am. And a lot of us every day, particularly those that are stressed, have negative affirmations after I am. And every single cell in our body is listening to our thoughts. Every single one. So it's very important when you are, even if you're sick, for example, not to say I am, rather say I am healing. It's very important.
Yesterday.
Yeah, changes the perspective, and it changes the way that your body heals and the way that you react to it also. So I ams are the affirmations, and you want to get them positive. You want, I am confident, I am strong, I am courageous, and even if you don't believe these things, you say it that often that you say it in your head randomly throughout the day. And you're like, oh, higher self talking to me there. And it always comes at a time when you're doubting yourself as well. Well, it just tends to, for me, just to get that quick reminder to change your thought pattern. Somebody said to me once, you have to become an observer of your thoughts rather than believe that your thoughts are you. And that was a game changer for me.
Amen.
So true, because thoughts become things. So we're going to be thinking of things that are negative. We don't want to be doing that, put it that way.
Can I give you some more tools just before just before you're wrapping up, Shai? Because I know we're coming to the end of our session.
I know.
Yeah. So more tools that can help you manage. Remember, we're not talking about banishing stress, because that's just managing stress. So we've got deep breathing and breath work.
Ooh.
And actually coming in and being focused. I've got an amazing breathwork class to go to later. Dancing, which we know because Ways to Wellness.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you haven't got your ticket, tick.
Yeah. Healthy relationships and having those personal boundaries to know when to say no, when to say this is my time, when to be out of office, closed. Exercise, which you've just said. Great way to burn off cortisol. I've just done a half an hour rebounding session. Trust me, when I usually rebound, it's like 5 minutes. Half an hour to music. That was a different experience. What else? Journaling, massive one. Just kind of getting the stuff out of here onto paper. That's huge as well.
Massive.
Do you know what? Volunteering, actually helping somebody else that's in, you know, often a worse position than you think you're in. It kind of puts shit into perspective.
Yeah,
that helps. Great one. I'll finish with this one because we've done this in book club that we used to do in Nature's Pharmacy a while ago. Organizing a messy space. Whether that be cleaning out a drawer, a wardrobe.
I love doing that.
Literally, if you're feeling stressed and you feel like you're out of control and you're overwhelmed, find your messiest spot and go clean it. Go organize it.
Even if it's a drawer. Mine's usually the kitchen drawer. Everyone's got that messy kitchen drawer, haven't they? That everything.
You just shove it in and close the drawer.
Yeah, mine's the pencil drawer. Yeah.
Yeah. But can I just touch on one thing that you mentioned, Carly? Because this is something that I've struggled with as well. But a lot of people that I've tried to help overcome stress, this seems to be a massive thing at the moment that everyone's struggling with, the boundaries and how to enforce them and deal with the pushback from other people when they don't like them. You know, people that have been benefiting from your boundaries of you being that yes person.
Yeah.
It's so easy to fall back into being a people pleaser because of how uncomfortable that feeling is of letting people down. And it's not, I realized what helped me. It wasn't the fact that I was letting people down. It was more me. Does that make sense? I've tried to let me try and rephrase that. So
the issue was in one of my workshops, you know, I mention, especially if it's on a Saturday, especially for the women, the mothers, you know, the wives who is really guilty about coming away from the family responsibilities on a Sunday. And I say, you know, when you go back and they go, oh no, it's fine, we managed, we cooked dinner, and you'd had all this stress, you'd overworked your kind of sense of importance, right?
That's because what it is, that you're important too.
No, they can. And actually, when you put yourself first, you become a better version of you. And everybody around you deserves that better version of you. But you've just got to have that forthrightness, that almost attitude where it's about me right now. And I'm sorry you don't like it right now, but bear with me because on the next side of it, you're going to love who I become, you know? You just got to kind of keep it on.
You see, this is why I decided this year that I am doing what I love. I am putting me first, and then everybody else can fall into place. And it's not being like selfish and just thinking.
No,
because why do we look at it like that? What is it?
I don't know. Because if
we've been trained like that,
we have, haven't we?
We've been trained like that.
Everybody else falls into place if I come first. They all come under my tree. Because you all get sorted out.
If you're in a better space, 100%. It's almost like a lot of us have felt undeserving of having that time. And it's the same with stress, you know, not being able to admit when you're stressed.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of situation or that those kind of people suffer with as well, because I know I did. It was not feeling like I deserved to have that time or wasn't worthy enough of putting that time into me, because I'm here now as a mother. It's my job to be caring for everybody else. You know, they didn't ask to be here, but you're making it worse for them doing that, because then they're not, you're stealing their independence from them and stopping them from being able to stand on their own 2 feet.
For sure.
And you know, what we can do is bang it out. Just bang it out on the wall. Bang out that negative energy. Or go and jump in your car if you've got one. Go for a drive on your own and just go, ha!
Or let it out. Come to a beautiful place, jump in the lake, go for a swim.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said to me, you've done what? On your own? Because I deserve nothing more than some time that is just for me, you know?
I can't fault you on that one. I really can't. But ladies, we've got to start to wrap up. And I want to thank everyone who's been here today for this 45-minute session with us, for being here. And I hope we've given you ways to wellness in regards to maintaining stress and keeping it on a even keel.
Nice and balanced.
To go over to Altered Health and grab yourself a ticket for Wellness Works June the 11th. Part two. And yeah, we'll see you in the next live.
We will.
Thank you for organising it and for hosting it, sis. I'm going to go have a juice.
Enjoy.
40 minutes behind my juicing, so I need to go and have a juice before my evening yoga.
You better go.
All right, guys.
Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ems Johnson. We can see all your messages. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.